you will get to meet and learn from women who have made it in the small businesses they own, making money doing what they love and loving what they do. And I have a great show this week. Thursday, March 4th is today. We are here with a home decorating show, and it is businesses sprucing up for the spring. And with us, we are honored to have Angela Wilson Lee. She's my first guest here on WRWK 93.9 FM, The Work. And then coming up at the bottom of the hour, we will have Angie Furby, who is Richmond Curtain Call. She's puts on that event. So I say this is the Angie Squared Show, or the Angela Squared Show, depending on which one I'm talking to. I'm talking to you, so it's the Angela Squared Show. So welcome.
I'm also known as Angie, so that's fine.
Oh, okay, that's good. Now let me give you a proper introduction. Angela Wilson Lee is an amazing guest, and I'm so honored to have you. I have not yet been in your store, which is located on Robius Road in Midlothian, but I know where it is because it's across from Brewster's. Yeah.
Right. Yes.
It's strategically located across from the ice cream store. And she is a award-winning interior designer.
Yes.
She is also an author. She has her own store, which is named Wilson Lee Interiors? Is that the name of your store?
Yes, it is.
Wilson Lee, okay. And she sells a line of products called Clarity, Balance, and Beauty, which I want to talk about. Her designs, when I went on your website, amazing. So welcome to Richmond Business Babes. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing really good. Thank you. We're busy as all get out, but
good.
We're doing well.
That's good news to hear that a business owner is busy, because you never know these days whether it's up or down or anything. Yeah. So walk us through your career path, where you started, why you like designing, and take us down this Robius Road.
Yes. Okay. So I started design before I knew what it was. So I started probably when I was around 10 or 11 years old. And I had no idea what an interior designer was, because I come from a place where no one had interior designers. We were very poor, and my mom was sick. And as the oldest child in the family, I felt like it was my responsibility to make things better at the house. Mm-hmm. So I did things that I would be helpful to her. I like to clean things up. I found ways to make things prettier. I just was always looking for what would bring a joy and a smile to my mom's face.
Aww.
Yeah, so that is how I ended up in this field, not knowing that there was such a thing as an interior designer until I got to high school.
Oh, I love that. So it was a very altruistic beginning.
It really was, yes.
Ah, okay. So now fast forward, you're done with high school. I'm assuming you are a college graduate with this degree or a different degree, or?
I did. I studied interior design and fashion merchandising at the Art Institute of Atlanta. And I left there. I worked for another design firm for a time. And I realized then that there was more to design than making things pretty. I actually wanted to have design be a service to people that influenced how their everyday life was affected, meaning and affect their moods. Because in class we studied color theory. It was one of the big things that we studied in school, was color theory. That class, when it was so important that you took it, not only color theory 1 but 2.
And you know what I'm envisioning right now? The color wheel. And you know what else I'm envisioning? I love the names of colors, like lipstick names and crayon names. I just love the names of them.
Yes.
You know? Okay, so you're studying your color, and then what happened?
Then you find out in color theory that each color has a different effect on the senses. Uh-huh. And we weren't practicing any of that in the firm I was working for.
Oh.
And I had clients that needed that to be incorporated. Mm-hmm. And our job was to make things beautiful. And I completely get that. And I see the need for it. And I think that is uplifting to human beings in and of itself.
And you did that instinctively with your mom before, like you said, when you were a young child, before you even knew it. The
Exactly.
purpose
Yeah,
was for that. Uh-huh.
exactly. So then I eventually branched out on my own because I had two babies and I wanted to um, determine my own schedule and have a little bit more flexibility. And so I started my own company, not realizing at the time that that would actually give me less flexibility initially.
That's funny. Initially. I like that. Initially.
Initially, yes.
All right. What year are we talking about?
We're talking around 1994, 95.
Okay.
When
All
when I
right. So more than 20 years ago.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. 25 years ago, right?
Yeah.
You look too young to have talked about 25 years ago.
Oh, well, thank you for that.
Yes. All right. So now you started your own farm. Are you still in Atlanta or have you moved to Richmond?
Yes, we moved to Richmond. I moved my entire business to Richmond 12 or 13 years ago, right during the Great Recession is when I moved.
Ah, right, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good timing.
Perfect timing.
And when you moved to Richmond, were you at the location that you were at near Firebirds? If anybody knows where the restaurant Firebirds is on Huguenot, and I live in Powhatan, so I know this area very
Yeah, yeah.
intimately, on Huguenot Road in Midlothian, Virginia. Did you move there first or somewhere else
No,
first?
this is my second location. In my first location, we were over at the shops at Belgrade.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
where the big Kroger is at the corner of Robius and Huguenot,
Yes,
kind of.
yes. Uh-huh.
So we were there first, and we stayed there 6 years,
Uh-huh.
and then we moved here. We've been here almost 7 years. We've been here.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting corner because that corner, it's a major intersection, and it used to also have Williams and Sherrill.
Right. Yes.
And I used to like when I was stressed out, I would say, I'm just going to stop into Williams and Sherrill. I would never buy anything because it was so expensive. One time my daughter bought me a pair of earrings there, but I would just, stroll around and look at things. And
Yeah.
I was surprised that, well, now Publix is there and they have
Right.
closed. Yeah, they're no longer there.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you build, what would you say, Angela Wilson Lee of Wilson Lee Interiors, what would you say to an aspiring interior designer? And in a minute, I'm going to ask you to talk about interior designer versus decorator, because I always get those confused. But what would you say to an aspiring interior designer or decorator who wants to start her own business, much like you did? And maybe they're even working in a company where they're dissatisfied with the strategy, like you were, of the company, and just even what you were saying before about how they're an interior design firm and they're not even taking note of how colors impact your mood. I mean, that's so basic from what you're telling me. So what would you say to somebody who wants to start their own business? What can they learn from you and your path?
Yeah. So um, I think what I wish I had known when I was starting out was I wish I knew all the things that I would need to know before I started my business. Like
I
I
wish
had
I
no
knew what I needed
idea.
to know. Okay.
I
Are
had
you
no
talking about
idea.
the functional things like leasing an office space, like those kinds of nuts and bolts
Yeah, like
things, or okay,
the
the
business
business,
side of it.
yeah, because you had all the skill set.
Yes,
You just didn't have the business acumen, so to speak.
yes. I had the schooling. I came into schooling with a set of creative values and gifts, frankly, that I think that even school doesn't take the place of. Um,
Hmm.
to me, the best designers are naturally creative.
Hmm.
And then the schooling helps to refine that so that
Interesting.
you
Okay.
refine your taste so
Yeah.
that you're able to work with different types of clients on different kinds of projects and have that be about the client rather than yourself. But what I
Hmm.
didn't know was I didn't know how to negotiate a lease for rent, for space to rent. I
Uh-huh.
didn't know that I needed to have an accountant before I started my business.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That's
I
good advice. Yes.
I didn't know that um, not everyone was going to be there to help me. Some people aren't there to help you.
I
So,
guess not.
and I wish I had, and all of that made me seek out mentorship.
Hmm. How did you do that?
I started calling other designers and emailing them and asking for opportunities to do favors for them, because no
That
one
was
wants
smart.
to spend time.
Who's going to turn down an offer for a favor?
Yes.
I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. What a favor I have for you.
Yes.
Leave me a message.
What can I do? What can I
Now,
do?
these are your competitors that you're reaching out to, correct?
No, I would always
No.
ask people who weren't in my area.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was smart. Okay. Yeah. And
Ask
so,
people who were not in my area.
so that's how you got mentoring. That was good. Tell me, do you remember your first client when you just opened your business and what that was like? Was it a good experience or a bad experience or
It was a great
mixture?
experience. It was a great experience because it was someone who I already knew. So,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
Oh, that could be bad though. They could be like, I knew you, and they almost have different expectations than if they're dealing with a stranger,
Yes, and that is true. If you the business person is different than you the everyday person,
Yes.
you're running into things like that. But if
Yes.
you are who you are in business and in person and personally, then I think that is curtailed a lot.
Mhm.
I don't generally run into problems like that. I'm not saying that every client adores me, although they mostly do. But we do. I am the same way all the time. I really work hard at not putting on airs, and that can be very tempting sometimes in my industry, where you think people have to be very highfalutin and very a certain kind of way.
Yes.
And so
The Hollywood has painted it that way, hasn't it?
yeah. And I just really want to be myself and provide a service to my clients that enriches and improves their lives. So, and that is my focus. So clients kind of see who I am. What you see is what you get.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're authentic. That's wonderful. I love that. So, okay, so you struggled initially in the way of the nuts and bolts of the business, not your skill set, but the nuts and bolts. You found your first client, which was someone you knew. How did you leverage the first client into other clients, and are you primarily, because I went on your website, I haven't been to your shop yet, but I went on your website and it says that you do residential as well as commercial. So was your first client residential or commercial?
My first client in Atlanta was residential. My first
Okay.
client in Virginia was commercial.
Oh, do you want to share with us who that was?
It was an eye doctor.
Oh.
Yeah, it was an eye doctor, and I don't even think his practice is still in town anymore. Yeah, it used to be really close to my shop, and he stumbled into my shop at Belgrade one day. Told me that he was new in town also, and he wanted.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you prefer doing residential versus commercial, or do you prefer, or it's just all the same?
I like
It's
a
not the
mixed
same.
bag.
But,
Yeah, I like a mixed bag of projects. I think for sanity reasons, it's good to have a little bit of all kinds of projects going on. I think residential projects have always been a good way to become a great designer, because you have to deal with the person who owns that property, that home.
There's a greater emotional element, I would think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They certainly have an attachment to where they're going to live in ways that somebody might not have that same attachment for where they're working. So yeah, it's different that way, and I think it's more of a challenge for me. So it makes me work a little harder. It challenges my creativity. It challenges me to do something unique and different every time. So I think residential clients make me better. And then commercial clients, for me are good to mix in there because they tend to, for me, not to be as demanding.
Mhm.
And so I like it. I like a mixed bag of those. I've done massage parlors. I've done hair salons. Um,
Mhm.
I've done hotel lobbies and
Oh, fun.
bed and breakfast type thing.
That's nice. That's great.
And
That's
so,
really great.
yeah.
Well, and I know very little about interior design. My extent of what I know is probably, looking at magazines, and saying, I like this, I like that, I don't like this looks silly. And then also just, obviously if I'm in a hotel lobby or if I'm,
Right.
in a doctor's office. But you have a budget. Do you start with the budget and then you hone in on the desired results, or walk us through if I hired you, how would and you're at my house and you're saying, well, Lisa, what is it you want to achieve? And I'm just like, well, I don't like anything here anymore. I'm tired of it. I want something new.
Yeah.
And that's all I tell you. I want something new. What's your next step?
Yeah. Well, I do want to know what your budget is, because what's a lot to one person is not a lot to another person.
Uh-huh.
So I want to know like what
Oh,
normally.
we lost her. Come back, Angela. There you are. And I was going to ask you, since that was a great pause for me to say, what is is there a limit to the smallest amount of budget that you would even consider working for? And then is it fee based as a percentage, or how does that work?
So I am fee based, and so it depends. It really depends on the client's expectations. So if a client says to me, my budget is $5,000, but I want to blow out the back of my house and I want to add a new wing onto there, and then I want to put new drapery and a sofa, and I want a fireplace, and I want marble floors and a fire. So it depends on what the client's goals are.
Right. So what do you say to somebody who just told you all that? See ya. See ya.
So then I start asking them, okay, so when was the last time you did work around your house, and how much did that cost? And what was your budget for that, and what did you end up spending on that item? Because if you bought a sofa and that sofa was $3,000, you can't do an entire room for five.
Right. Right.
So it's just kind of thinking through the individual elements that you need.
Oh, come back, Angela. Come back. She'll be back. Here she is. Oh my goodness. Hi, Angie. Huh. You're not on mic. You're
I'm
not
not.
on mic. Yeah, now you are. But I have to say to Ron, my producer, and we've got Angie Furby
Yes.
waiting in the wings. We've got Angie Furby waiting in the wings, but we're not. And Angie Furby. It's the Angela Squared show. Angie Squared. Okay, because I'm talking to Angela Wilson Lee. So Angie Furby, sit tight there, and Ron, I want to just continue on. We'll run over a little bit. Is that okay with you, Ron, my producer? Are you talking to me, Ron, my producer? He's not on mic either. Okay, we're going to continue on, and Angie Furby, sit tight there for me. Angela Wilson Lee of Wilson Lee Interiors. So you're saying you have to get realistic with the client,
Right.
right?
Right.
About the budget. Okay.
Right.
So once you've crossed that hurdle, then is it a flat fee? Is it based on time? How does that work? If my budget is, say, $20,000 that I'm
Right.
spending,
Mhm.
that's on materials that you purchase for me, right?
Mhm.
Is that
So
how it works? I don't know how it works.
yes, so I have a service budget. So I will do a plan for. I would do first. I do a design plan for your room, your whatever it is you're asking me for,
Okay.
and there's a flat fee for what that room is. So if you want a bathroom done, there's a fee for a bathroom. If you want a kitchen done, there's a fee for a kitchen. And then after that, and you're not obligated to have me do the work. I'm doing a flat fee to show you what you could do. We're gonna pull all kinds of elements that would be needed to achieve the look that we're going for. and
Uh-huh.
the function that we're going for. And then after that, we present it to you. You come into the studio, or we do an on a virtual presentation, and of which we'll need time to like package everything up and send you all the elements so that you can see, touch, feel whatever it is I'm proposing to you during the presentation.
Okay.
And then you'll get a list of what everything costs to implement. So then you know how
Okay.
much every single item on that list costs. You know
Okay.
what drapery costs, the hardware costs, the rug costs. You know what everything is. And most people then will pull the trigger and go ahead and order their plan.
Okay.
After that, we start working on getting it all in ordered and in production. And a lot of what we do is custom. So I'm not, I'm not the designer that says I'm here for everyone. I do have a more luxurious firm. So that client tends to be one who's looking for a full service, and
Mm-hmm.
they're looking for somebody who can handle all of the odds and ends and things that will require them to spend a lot of time doing.
Mm-hmm.
My clients think I bring a lot of value to them because they don't have to be involved in it unless they want to.
Uh-huh. And you don't strike me as a prima donna. Can I say that word? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can say that.
So you strike me as someone who would truly listen. And even if I don't consciously know what I want, you would bring it out my subconscious to hone in on what it is I want.
Yes, it is.
You're a mind reader.
Yeah. Well, I am intuitive about about people's feelings and emotions and how they like to spend their time in their lives. One of my goals is to get to know you on a level that allows you to trust me, and so that I can then do the work that best supports the needs of your family, and you can trust me to do that for you.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I know you're a busy lady, and before we let you go, Angela Wilson Lee of Wilson Lee Interiors, tell us the name of your book, the name of your shop, how to get there in person, how to get there online, and also, most important, what advice would you give to somebody struggling right now, whether it's in the interior design business or any other business? What would you say of encouragement? Because it is a difficult time for so many.
Yeah, it is a very difficult time for so many. I think the most important thing to remember is to be true to who you are, who your business is meant to cater to,
Mm-hmm.
and not get caught up into all that's going on. You know, be intentional about why you started your business, and hold on to that. That doesn't mean you shouldn't make changes, because society changes and we need to be adaptable.
Yes.
To that. So, but always, I think if you do things with somebody else in mind, you'll find your way to keep doing that.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Now tell us how to get in touch with you.
So to get in touch with us, aside from calling us, you can go to the website at awilsonlee.com. We're on Instagram at awilsonlee, and we're on Facebook at Wilson Lee Interiors. We're on all the social media platforms, and a search of Wilson Lee Interiors will get you a lot of information.
And you're on Robius Road in Midlothian, Virginia. Where did she go? Did we lose her? Robius Road, Midlothian, Virginia, right? And we can also get your book,
Yes.
Women Innovators, Leaders, Makers, and Givers.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can now. I can.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Angela Wilson Lee, thank you so much for being on Richmond Business Babes here on WRWK 93.9 FM. We'll be getting you back in real soon, okay?
All right. Thank
back
you.
on.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And now, since it's the Angie Squared show, we have another Angie. We have Angie Furby. And Angie Furby is a very patient lady. First of all, thank you so much. I know you've got a lot going on, and I just dropped my notes, so bear with me here. There we go.
That's okay. That
So
is
that was.
okay. You're a very, very busy lady.
Yes, I am. So Angie Furby is with Curtain Call Richmond, and what a great event. It's an event extravaganza for home decor. I personally have been to a Curtain Call Richmond, and she knows this because I told her. Back in, I don't even know how many years ago it was, but it was on Patterson Avenue, and I was blown away. And what Angie Furby tells me now is it is 8 times bigger than it was before.
It is.
She has partners, Kimberly and was it Brenda?
Kimberly Dawson and Ellen Bradley.
Kimberly Dawson and Ellen Bradley. And once a year they put on an annual extravaganza, but she also does consignments, estate sales, and big contributor to Habitat for Humanity and Caritas. So
Yes.
welcome Angie Furby of Richmond Curtain Call. How are you? You're holding up very well. Today is number 2, right? Day number 2?
Today is day number 2.
All
yes.
right.
Yep.
Well, you made it through day number 1.
We did.
so it's all gravy now, right? You got all the kinks knocked out.
Yep. It's been a very positive, crazy busy, like good positive energy.
Good. I love that. Now every year you choose a different location to hold your annual event, and I'm assuming last year you did not have it. Is that correct?
No, we did. We actually
you did.
We're very fortunate in that our timing that we do our annual sale is always February, March timeframe.
Yes.
So literally last year, the week after our sale ended is when everything shut down.
Oh,
so
wow.
The timing was perfect, if you could call it that.
Yes, you can call it that. That's fair.
Yeah, and then each year it depends on where we can get a short-term lease, and that's a challenge every year because a lot of the commercial real estate firms don't want to have anything to do with a short-term lease.
Wow.
So things fell into place, and unfortunately JCPenney's closed in November, and we were able to get the lease on this space that's nearly 80,000 square feet.
Wow, that's a huge space. And is it filled to the brim?
It is.
Wow.
Just to give you an idea, is last year we had about 14,000 consigned items. And this year we have about 17,000 consigned items.
That's a lot of items. Wow. So walk us through, Angie Furby, walk us through your business path, your career path. Walk us down that road because you purchased this business, correct?
I did.
Mm-hmm. So what year was that?
This business started in 1998.
98.
And at that time, I was a high-end fabric and wall covering rep for a global company. And
so you might have even had business talking to Angela Wilson Lee at some point. Who knows?
Possibly. It was a long time ago.
She started in 95, she said.
Oh, good. Well, goodness. Then there you go. So I was a rep for a global company, Stroheim and Roman, very high-end fabrics and wall covering. And one of my clients, an interior designer, she couldn't bear to see custom window treatments get either thrown away or donated to Goodwill. And so she started a curtain call swap, and hence the name Curtain Call. And
that's very clever. I like that name.
And I attended her first sale and bought window treatments. We both were pregnant at the same time, and I knew I would not be able to continue traveling a multi-state territory. And she was moving. So I bought the business in 2000. And
was that in Richmond?
Yes, ma'am. In Richmond.
Right.
And this is a Richmond tradition. It's a homegrown thing. Each year we would have the annual sale, same time frame. And we started with just window treatments. And each year we would add home decor, small furniture, rugs and lamps. And then we would start adding more designer items. And then fast forward to this year, and we started with around 2,000 square feet. of retail space. And this year we're at almost 80,000 square feet.
That's a phenomenal success story for Curtain Call. Now, if you would feel free to talk about the financials, I don't know if you care to, but do you recall what you paid for the business? You were really just buying, I guess, the name and the strategy. There was no physical location you were buying, right?
That's exactly correct. So
Okay.
it was a name that was started, and we both had this passion for decor, custom drapery. I grew up sewing. I know that's a dying breed these days, but just had this passion for, like I said, custom interiors. And so it was like a baby to us, even though we were having our babies. We wanted to continue the name. And so I took it over, and businesses typically, if they last longer than 2 years, that's a great thing. It's like
absolutely.
that first 18 months, 2 years is kind of like that trial run.
Yeah.
And we just kept it up and kept it up. And we were thrilled if we had, a certain number of consigners, and each year that number blew away and grew. And here we are.
And what do you attribute it to when you look at the trajectory of that upward motion there of more and more consigners? Would you say that's due to your marketing, or was that word of mouth, or a combination of things, or even people who were customers at first and said, well, hey, I can consign?
Yeah.
How does that all work? Talk about the nuts and bolts of how it's progressed and why you think that is.
Right. So with us, it was word of mouth. We did not buy any marketing lists. We didn't have a budget to advertise. We had the Richmond Times would write up about us, Richmond Home Magazine, Style Magazine. And then when you were at the Patterson Pump area, that was when Channel 12 News was doing Bang for Your Buck. And would have them do a spot for us every year. But really, it was word of mouth. I mean, literally, this is homegrown organically. And you have like a following that started with a few hundred. And now our following is well over 9,000 people. And that's
great.
It was just, word of mouth, really.
That's wonderful. And I'm so glad to see, as an event producer, because that's really your business, is an event, right? Would you say, is that your business? You're an event producer, really? So, I mean,
this is a big event.
It's a big event. So I'm so thrilled to know that is carrying on despite COVID. And I will be probably stopping by either tonight or at some point during your, but I wanted to ask you how COVID has changed that whole, do you have to limit the number of people entering the building, or what? Talk to us about that.
The dynamic is a little different, but it all worked out. And I have to tell you that for us, it was kind of trial and error, because literally 3 years ago, we started doing estate sales. I mean, 3 years ago.
I saw that on your website. Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 years ago, we were 19 years in business, and we had a strong following, and we had people asking us if we would start doing estate sales. So it was kind of this natural entry into that world.
Yes.
And there are 3 of us, as I had mentioned, and we started doing estate sales. And so that increased our following as well. Rather than just one time a year, we would have an estate sale, let's say 1 or 2 a month. And so with COVID, we already had a few estate sales lined up after the end of this sale. And at that point, we had to make a difficult decision. And again, every business was affected differently with this COVID. And ours was such that we had a meeting of the minds with our clients and said, listen, we're at a turning point, and we can either have an estate sale and try to do it online. We can try to get your items donated, or you can try to sell them on your own. And they preferred that we help them. So we transitioned to doing our sales online during the worst of COVID. We partnered with Shopify, and we ended up selling nearly everything from these estates.
So you had a better success rate online than you did it in person, or at least equal?
It was equal. It was because people were starving to do things. And then as the transition with COVID and people could open their doors more, we would limit the number of shoppers. I'm not wearing my mask right now while talking to you, but here it is.
Yes. I saw you had it on before. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We are very cautious about that. With our estate sales, because it's a much smaller space, we would limit the number of people inside. And if they chose to purchase online through Shopify, they could, and then we would have them come pick it up at a designated time where there was not more than 2 parties, at the home at a time.
Interesting. Now, what I thought you were going to tell me, Angie, was with the estate sales in the midst of the worst of COVID, what I thought you were going to say is you were going to tell your clients, let's either warehouse it or you would buy it, or they, somehow to save it for curtain call. That's what I thought you were going to say. So that was not practical.
No, you know why? If you think about it, if somebody's got, the real estate market's gone through the roof last year.
Yes, true.
And so people were selling their houses left and right. And they had to be out in 30 days. And so those items had to be gone.
Yeah, they had to be gone.
We would turn around, do an estate sale, whether it was online or in person. And like I said, we would limit the shoppers, or we would set up appointments for them to come pick up their sold items. And then the rest of the items would be donated to either Habitat for Humanity or Caritas. So it really is a win-win for everybody. And our motto is we're all here to earn a little bit, but we're all here to give back to our community.
That's a beautiful motto. And that's probably contributed to much of your success for more than 19. Well, how many years? 20 plus, 22 years. Wonderful. 22. So are we going to walk around and look at curtain call?
I can. I will put my mask on. Okay.
Okay. So, and for the people who are listening on radio, this is also, you can check us out later on our Facebook page, which is WRWK 93.9 FM The Work. This is Richmond Business Babes. That's the name of the show. So when you go on the WRWK 93.9 FM The Work Facebook page, you can see what I am seeing, this wonderful tour that Angie is taking us on. Let's go, Angie.
All right, Lisa.
Curtain call.
Can you see the background?
Yeah. I see a big red chair. Oh, I see another chair. I feel like I'm on Romper Room. I see. Okay, lots of chairs. Yeah, very nice. Wow. And it's not very crowded, so whoever is concerned about, there's people walking, but it's spaced out with people, so it's not for those who are concerned about thinking they're going to bump into somebody and elbow somebody. Oh my goodness.
So this is nearly 80,000 square feet, and there's plenty of space for everybody to spread out. We have an area, we have an area of nothing but china, crystal.
You just passed by that. Yep. I see a dining room table, lots of rugs. You want to know what I gravitate to? Rugs and lamps. I like very quirky lamps, and I like nice rugs. That's what area rug.
My heart. I love lamps. I call lighting jewelry for the home.
There you go. I love that.
So here's our outdoor area. So we have all kinds of garden accessories.
Oh, that's good. Very nice. It's huge.
We have dining furniture. I'm going to head on over to we have furniture everywhere, and we sell a ton of rugs, a ton. Here's some more furniture here.
Very nice. I like, it must be fun. Well, maybe fun is not the right word because, it's fun after it's over, right? But it must be fun to group, to you and your partner say, well, we'll have, okay, now we're going to have the dining room. Well, this dining room table goes with this lamp or this rug. No, it should go with that. And then it's like you're redecorating all the time. And then as it gets sold, you're redecorating again.
Yep. So
how many hours do you put in from the day one that the door opens? Are you there pretty much like 18, 20 hours? No, it couldn't be that many a day.
It's probably good 10, 12-hour days.
Okay, 10 or
I wouldn't
12.
say probably. It's definitely 12-hour days.
12-hour days. Yeah, I would say so.
So this year, what we did, because we have so much space, is we have featured some interior designers. They have like their own little
That's
area that
nice.
they have set up a vignette. We have
Okay.
another Virginia-based business called Brass Beds of Virginia.
Oh, yes, I actually interviewed the female owner. I can't, her name escapes me. What is her name?
Ashton Harrison.
Yes, she was on Richmond Business Babes. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, that was last year. Yeah.
So I just showed you a few beds that are from them.
Can you go back to that?
I can.
Are you able to go back to that?
I'm going to show you another bed that are featured. It's a pagoda bed, and it's
Oh, I want to see that. Oh, that's cool.
And they don't have just beds. We've got other furniture from them, benches and tables. But check out this bed. Let me see.
I can't see it. Oh, I do see it. I love it. Can you get closer to it?
I can. I'm going to go backwards.
Oh, I do love it. Very nice.
And
wow.
So their items are at half off of retail price. So
their items are new. Is that correct?
They're brand new. So
you have a mixture of new and old.
We do. We have new designer items in here. We have floor samples, and then we have consigned items that are gently loved.
Gently loved. Very good. Gently loved. Well, I cannot wait to visit. And again, for those who are listening and not watching, there are people in the background, shoppers, but it is not insanely, busy so that you feel that you're rubbing elbows with someone and in their space.
Exactly.
So that's good that you got that bigger space, and it's at J.C. Penney's, what was the former J.C. Penney's, in the Regency Mall on Quioccasin, correct?
You got it.
Yep. All right, very good.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I have just a few more questions and I will let you go because I know you're very, very busy. But once this event is over, do you take several months off before you launch in? What is your planning time frame? Is it a 6-month planning or?
So then what we do is after this is done, we already have actually potential estate sale clients lined up, appointments scheduled. And like I said, we'll start scheduling estate sales throughout the year. But then also with Caritas, we have a partnership with them where we will conduct quarterly warehouse sales at their warehouse.
That's interesting.
They get wonderful new items that are donated to them from national distributors.
Oh, that's nice. I did not know that. That's great.
Let me tell you, that secret is out. It's new lighting. You would love it, Lisa, because it's brand new lighting. In fact, I'll show you. Brand new lighting in boxes and furniture and rugs, and we'll do a warehouse sale there. I don't know if you can see all of these boxes. Can you see all these boxes?
I do see boxes. Yeah, I do see a lot of boxes. Yeah, okay.
So we had Caritas deliver.
Oh, we lost her. Come back, Angie Furby. There you go.
I'm here.
Sorry. Yeah, okay. That's okay.
We had Caritas deliver here about 60 pallets of lighting. And so we are selling this on their behalf, okay? And then once a quarter, we will do a warehouse sale out of their warehouse.
Oh, and where can we find out about that?
That will be on our website at curtaincallrichmond.com.
Curtain Call Richmond. Okay.
And then Instagram is Curtain Call RVA.
Okay.
And Facebook is Curtain Call Home and Decor Consignment Sale.
Wow. Okay.
It's a mouthful, I know.
That's okay.
That was my mistake many years ago.
You're doing great. There's no talk about mistakes. So in this age of pivot, right?
Yes.
Last question here. What advice would you give to a business, maybe even an event business that is struggling, or someone who maybe wanted to start an event business and is now thinking, how can I do events? This is the age of COVID. There's no more events. What would you say?
Yes, I would say, what it takes is perseverance believing in yourself, having a positive attitude. And you know what people like the best is they just love people with a friendly smile and a great attitude, and just people that are friendly and positive. And I'm telling you, it goes a long, long way.
It does. It does indeed. Well, Angie Furby of Richmond Curtain Call, much success. Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to come on Richmond Business Babes on WRWK 93.9 FM The Work, and tell everyone again where you're located so we can get there. And the time frame, it's limited time.
It is limited time. So we are open daily through March the 15th, which is a Monday. We're located at Regency Square, and that is 1420 North Parham Road, Richmond 23229. Okay. Our website is curtaincallrichmond.com. It's got complete information as far as our hours and our dates. Our final sale days are additional discounts, so you definitely want to check that out. And our Instagram is Curtain Call RVA.
Wonderful. And it's at the former J.C. Penney in the mall. Okay, very good.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Angie Furby.
Thank you so much.
Yes, of Curtain Call Richmond for being on Richmond Business Babes. You take care now.
Thank you for
I'll see you later.
I'll see you later. Look for me.
Okay,
all right.
Sounds
Bye-bye.
good. All right, bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right. Well, that was so much fun. I can't wait to go shopping there. And look at lamps. And Ron, I am so glad that we were able to live stream that and see. That was exciting.
That was fun. That was sort of we're upping our game.
Yeah. Do you like looking at things like that, or is that boring to you, Ron?
Well, it was exciting to see this woman picking up unused place and making it possible for people to let go of nice stuff that they didn't have a way to sell otherwise. So consignment is kind of one of the ways to beat COVID, you know. It's safe, and yet it's public. It's a perfect balance.
Well, you know, and this is no secret, Ron has talked about it, and I have too. We're both into thrift stores and all those kinds of things. And, you know, it was just very fun. And then also talking earlier to Angela Wilson Lee, who's an interior designer, an award-winning interior designer right here in Midlothian, Virginia. And she's also an author, a best-selling author of Women Innovators, Leaders, Makers, and Givers. So we really had the Angie Squared show today. So with that, I'm going to say thank you to all our listeners and viewers for listening to Richmond Business Babes here on WRWK 93.9 FM The Work. And I'm going to let Ron take it over from here, my producer, the remarkable Ron. And I know he wants to tell you some things about the station. Bye-bye now.
Indeed. All right. All right. Well,